I'm Kira Liu. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator at Climate Generation, the Will Steger Legacy. And our community engagement work really focuses on normalizing conversations about climate change and engaging the public in climate change solutions through sharing stories and building connections in community. So really built on this belief that storytelling and arts help to elicit emotion and imagination and creativity and really spark conversations on climate change in ways that resonate and engage people in solutions that is, interesting and exciting and thinking about climate change in a new way. And so we work with people to help them develop their personal stories, personal narratives around climate change, not only through writing, but through artistic expression too, and kind of digging into these intersections between climate change and music and art. And then also working with communities to help build leadership, spur collective action and build public will for climate change solutions. And so some of the projects that I've been working on are, we just published a book called Eyewitness, Minnesota Voices on Climate Change, that is a collection of stories, poems, and artwork from Minnesotans all around the state and their experiences of climate change. We've been working on a new podcast called Band Together, which is kind of exploring how musicians and artists are thinking about climate change and those ties between music and how we can kind of bring climate conversations into new realms that and open it to artists to bring them into these conversations. And then we've also been working on public convenings, so really thinking about local, place-based focus in terms of building community and support for climate action and really bringing people together around shared values and experiences. Collaboration is so important in this work because we can't solve climate change on our own, and we also need to build a climate movement that everyone can see themselves in and that meets the needs and represents all of our communities. And to be able to do that, we need to make sure that this movement is accessible for everyone and that people can see themselves reflected in it too. And so I think for us, sharing stories from people who are most impacted by climate change, from those who are on the front lines of the climate crisis, is how we can be able to collaborate and uplift the voices of others. And that's one part I really love about my job, is getting to know and work with partners and communities and individuals who make up the climate movement and being able to help amplify and share out their voices. And I think that's really how we're going to move forward with this is, we can create that sense of connection and build those communities with others. We're going to have a stronger base for us to build climate solutions that really address the needs and the scale of the climate crisis and also meet everyone's needs. And stories are how we see the world. They're how we interpret everything. And so I think that piece is really resonates with people because that's just kind of how we kind of go about our lives. And so bringing that not only into like our personal social lives, but into how we engage at work or in movements like this, I think has been really great for helping people just normalize conversations. And so it's not like something like, oh, now we're going to talk about climate change, but like now we're talking about our communities and all of us as people. And so I think that's been kind of a good reframing, at least in my mind, and how I'm thinking about the climate movement and talking about it in my life. And then I think that art piece for me has really been important because I think it's really hard to do this work without hope. And so keeping that sort of inspiration and building new connections through that, whether that's with musicians or storytellers or just regular people who are engaging in this and dedicating a lot of work to this, is really inspiring for me to keep going.